Hello everybody, this is the Lysol. I got a lot to talk about today. We are taking a first look at the road ahead that was released today on 7/5/2023 and the Terran Malicos kit reveal. I've kind of looked at this, but this is mostly sight unseen. I basically just skimmed it, and I have a general idea of the direction of this, but we're going to go into this bullet point by bullet point and figure out what the hell is happening over the next 6 months of SWGoH. So let's get started. So we've got the road ahead here. Let me do this. On the docket, we have Leviathan plus the Journey Guide, Galactic Legend Leia Organa, a new raid featuring Return of the Jedi. Something I've been bitching about for a long time now is it's the Return of the Jedi anniversary, and we haven't seen much in the way of Return of the Jedi stuff this year. Aside from the Jabba and Jabba requirements towards the end of last year, we really haven't seen anything. So it's nice to see some love for Return of the Jedi. My favorite Star Wars movie growing up, no longer my favorite, that'd be Empire Strikes Back, but growing up, this was my favorite. So let's talk about the Leviathan. Here's what the lead designer of Leviathan has to say about the new capital ship. Designing Leviathan was challenging. Profundity and Executor are best of the best. How do we create a capital ship that would surpass them both? Became obvious. Just take the enemy's capital ship for yourself. We've seen your questions popping up asking how it will do against Executor and Profundity, and we're confident in saying Leviathan will execute profoundly. Oh my god. Cringe. Inside Leviathan's kit, there will be anti-breach and anti-crit mechanics to help its survivability, and in addition to that, Leviathan has the ability to destroy enemy reinforcements. Not to mention, it will have lots of ferocity. In short, you will use your special abilities to progressively take over the enemy's capital ship. Yes, that's right, you heard correctly. You will be taking over your opponent's capital ship. We'll see how that works out. And they go over the requirements for the Leviathan. This is well worn. Everybody knows about this by now. So it's basic apocalyptic fusillade. Fusillade? Deal special damage to target enemy and inflict shock for 2 turns. Then all Sith allies gain 1 stack of ferocity for 2 turns. If target enemy already had shock, inflict doubt for 2 turns on 2 random enemies who don't have it. If Seize the Bridge has been used in this encounter, dispel all buffs on target enemy and inflict fear for 1 turn. So if you've used the second special, I believe it is. Oh no, that would be... Where is Siege the... I don't see Seize the Bridge. Oh, here we go. Third special. If you've used the third special already, which I'm assuming is going to be the ultimate, or kind of like the ultimate, it will inflict fear? Is that what it does? Yeah, inflict fear for 1 turn on the targeted ship. Alright, this is the basics I find on capital ships I rarely ever use unless I have to, if it's the only thing not on cooldown. Special 1, Sabotage the Hangars. Requires the player to inflict 15 debuffs. Okay, so this might be the ult. Limit 1 use per battle. Okay, that makes sense. Sith allies gain critical hit immunity and 5 stacks of ferocity for 2 turns. And target ally recovers 40%. Increase the cooldown of call reinforcement by 1 on the enemy capital ship if they're light side. And inflict capital ship sabotage on all enemies until the end of the encounter. Next enemy reinforcement or Siege the Bridge is used. Capital ship sabotage is the next allied ship called to reinforce is immediately destroyed upon reinforcement. That is awesome. I love this. And this ability can't be used unless other Sith ships have inflicted 15 debuffs. So I'm honestly not super familiar with the kits for the new Sith ships, but I don't foresee inflicting 15 debuffs to take more than 2 or 3 turns. Maybe because of the cooldowns, you might have to use the basic for a minute before you can do Sabotage the Hangars. Special 2 is Sabotage the Engines, limit 1 use per battle, reduce the enemy's capital ship speed by 30% for the rest of the encounter, and remove 30% turn meter. That's brutal, which can't be resisted. Sith allies gain critical hit immunity and 5 stacks of ferocity for 2 turns, and target Sith ally gains breach immunity for 3 turns. Oh, so you're preventing breach from landing on your own ship. So you're stalling out the ult for the Executor. It's other than it's just some debuffs. There doesn't appear to be any damage on here, so it's just some debuffs and some buffs. And I believe it has to be used in order to use Special 3 here, which is Seize the Bridge. Can only be used if both Special 1 and Special 2 was used. One-time use, 5-turn cooldown. So it doesn't say it starts on cooldown, but I would imagine it starts on cooldown. Why would the cooldown matter if it can only be used once and it didn't start on cooldown? It wouldn't need a cooldown, right? Final text, limit 1 use per battle, take control of the enemy capital ship, reset its cooldowns, and grant it a bonus turn. Okay, so you take the enemy capital ship, reset its cooldowns, and get a turn. Alright. While controlled, you can't call reinforcements, and the cooldown of the ultimate ability is set to max at the start of each turn. So it can't ult, and it can't call reinforcement. But in the case of Executor, or in the case of Profundity, you can use it to heal, or you can use it to mass assist. So it'll basically give you another capital ship turn. Allies recover 50% health and have their cooldowns reset, and all enemies are inflicted with fear for 1 turn, which can't be evaded, dispelled, or resisted. This ability starts on cooldown. The first time Sith allies are inflicted with 50 debuffs, reduce the cooldown by 1. Okay, so it starts with a 5-turn cooldown. You have to use specials 1 and 2 before, so that's 2 turns. And then once you have 50 debuffs inflicted to you, you get another cooldown brought down. So actually, it seems like you're going to be using the basic ability on this ship a lot, because if you've got something like breach immunity here, you're not going to be able to get these 50 debuffs too quickly. You're looking at the earliest using this ability on the 4th turn, if not the 5th. But it's a cool ass ability. I like it a lot. And is it only once per battle? Yeah, 1-time use. This one is once per battle, and so all 3 of the specials are 1 use per battle. But honestly, in the case of most capital ships, you only use the special ability once per battle anyway. In the case of Executor, you might use the mass assist twice. So it makes a little bit of sense. It doesn't really matter, I feel like, but I'm assuming that in longer protracted battles, they didn't want you to be able to do that twice. Can't be used unless Destroy the Engines and Sabotage the Hangars were used in the same encounter. So yeah, you probably open up with Special 1. You probably open up with Basic. Then your 2nd turn, you probably get Special 1. Your 3rd turn, you probably use Special 2. And then your 4th turn, either Basic or Special 3. And then 5th turn, for sure, you get Special 3. I think. I don't know. We will see. Crew skill, Wrath of the Sith, Darth Revan. Sith allies gain 15% max health. Sith ships gain critical hit immunity for 1 turn, 1 stack of ferocity, and 1 stack of We Have Returned for 2 turns. And the Sith Empire ships gain an additional stack of We Have Returned. Now, these crew skills are generally uniques, right? So this is just what they get when they at the start of the encounter. Whenever an enemy is summoned, reduce their max health by 50% until the end of the encounter. Enemies attacking out of turn deal 50% less crit damage to attacker Sith allies. Okay, so all of these mass assists or profundity with the assists off the Millennium Falcon, they're not going to be doing a whole hell of a lot of damage to your Sith allies, which is nice. Now, the Mark 6 is a B1 battle droid style, so that doesn't really affect that too much. But when it comes to like the Fury class and the Sith Marauder, those things, that's going to make them super tanky. And those two ships are already pretty tanky. Whenever a debuff expires on an enemy, a random Sith ship gains 1 stack of ferocity for 2 turns, limit once per turn. Okay, so I'm curious to know if ferocity applied on your own ships by your capital ship count towards these 15 debuffs. It sounds like it requires the player to inflict 15 debuffs. It definitely sounds like it. So they gain a stack of ferocity for 2 turns. Mark 6 Interceptor gains 10 extra stacks of Devouring Swarm, so you can get to that Annihilate on basic quicker when starting its first turn after it's deployed. Okay. Oh, so you can use it as the second reinforcement and get that Annihilation on basic right away. Whenever an enemy reinforces, inflict daze on all enemies for 1 turn. Sith ships are immune to max health reduction. Okay. Reinforcement bonus. Reinforced Sith ships attacks can't be evaded. They gain 5 stacks of ferocity. They ignore taunt effects until the end of turn and stun target enemy for 1 turn, which can't be resisted when deployed. So when you bring out that Mark 6 fighter, it doesn't even matter if Houndstooth is out there. If you've got those stacks of Swarm, you just attack whoever you want and nuke them, and they're out of here. The Leviathan is expected to release on 7/19/2023. So I got 2 weeks. I've got 14 days to get 3 characters up to Relic 7. Well, 2 characters up to Relic 7, 1 to Relic 5, and 2 more from Relic 8 to Relic 9. Leia Organa, Galactic Legend. Let's talk about this. This is something that excites me, actually. And I will be the first to admit that I was wrong about a few things, but we will get into it. Our second big piece of news is about Galactic Legend Leia Organa. While we were all a little ways out from releasing Leia, we wanted to give you a quick rundown of the character. Our lead designer for Leia had this to say: while designing Leia, I was trying to create a character that would be leading a tactical assault against an enemy. Leia was always a vocal and visible leader of the Rebel Alliance, and her being in charge of the battlefield should be reflected in her in-game strategy. Each ability allows the player to pick the best target to accomplish a goal. This could mean based on the enemy role, a high priority target, or using one of your allies to deliver a powerful blow. Also, by being such a notable target, she is naturally drawing the attention of the enemy. If they fail to accomplish their goal of prioritizing her, they will be punished. I'm not really certain what that means. It sounds like she's going to be maybe swapping between taunt and stealth, something like Juhani. She's gonna probably call a ton of assists, give bonus turns to allies, etc., etc. Part 1 of the character requirements: Captain Rex at Relic 7. He was on Endor, apparently. Princess Kanisa, which I have looked up who that is right here. That's this young Ewok here. I don't remember her at all from anything. She might have been in the Ewok Adventures or something of that nature. Wicket at Relic 3. I was telling people right up until this second that you could bank on a Relic 9 Wicket. And I could not be happier that I was wrong. Dead wrong. And Relic 3 Wicket, I'm okay with that. That is not obscene. I'm not happy about taking Ewoks up, but it is what it is. Lando at Relic 5. I've already got a Relic 5 Lando. And Admiral Akbar at Relic 3. I was going to be working on some Rebel pilots anyway. Mine's at Gear 11. So taking him up to Relic 3, I was planning on taking him up to G12 in the next couple of weeks anyway. This is not too steep. I'm very, very happy with this. So, and they gave us a little teaser of her kit. Deal physical damage. Rebel allies gain retribution for 2 turns. So she's going to lead rebels, and she's going to give them retribution. I'm assuming that this is a basic. On her turn, yeah, it's got to be a basic because it specifies on her turn. So on her turn, deal bonus true damage to target enemy equal to 10% of the damage other rebel allies received since her last turn, and deal additional effects based on their roll. This was really interesting to me, actually. Very interesting to me. I believe that this means you're going to want her to be slow. How slow she's even going to be able to be, who knows? I'm sure she's a GL, so she's going to have a base speed over 300. But you might want to put no speed on her at all. So when she does go, both teams have gone in between her last turn, and then she takes her turn, does her basic, and just absolutely smokes whoever she is targeting. Which leads us into the next thing, the GL Leia event and Return of the Jedi raid. This I was not expecting to hear about for another 3-4 months. I figured this would be happening. I did not think that we would hear about it for a while and it wouldn't be released until spring of next year, but I was way off. So they are planning on bringing out a Return of the Jedi raid this year. It's going to be, they say they want for the fall or the end, but between the fall and the end of the year. So the fall. Let's read what they have to say. As promised, we're looking to bring a brand new featured raid to Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes after the release of GL Leia Organa. This is because she will be a featured player in the raid, much like Jabba the Hutt was for the Crate raid. But what will this raid entail? With the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi in full swing, that was months ago, but okay. We thought it would be great if we could bring our own unique spin to the classic speeder bike pursuit from the movie, with the really bad compositing. Using the motion tech we pioneered for the Dash Rendar level in the Starkiller event. So you'll just have the board will be moving past you, okay? We will bring to Galaxy of Heroes a brand new way of viewing and playing the game. Your squad will be racing through the Forest of the Moon of Endor. The Forest of the Moon of Endor. Why not just say the Forest Moon of Endor? Dodging trees, avoiding rocks, and skimming over the ground at breakneck speeds in pursuit of the Imperial Scout Troopers. That could be leading to something. You will be asked to bring 3 characters from the list below. These characters will have their abilities changed for the raid, as they will all be zooming along on 74Z speeder bikes as seen in the movie. There are 8 new abilities, a unique basic shared by all characters, and 7 special abilities that the characters will get 1 or 2 of based on their current abilities in their kits. So they're reworking every single one of these characters for just this raid. Additionally, all of these replacement abilities will not be doing traditional damage, but scoring points in the raid via applying different types of stacking effects onto the enemies. When any of these stacks reach a certain level, the enemy will be defeated, scoring you an even larger amount of points. We are working hard to bring these defeats to you as epic cinematic moments of visual payoff for your strategic gameplay. When any of these stacks reach a certain level, the enemy will be these defeats. The enemy being defeated. It would make more sense if they had said these victories, since they're your victory, but okay. For example, Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker gets his repulse ability replaced with Divert Attention. Using this during the raid will apply stacks of Distract on the enemy Scout Trooper. When the Scout reaches a certain threshold of Distract stacks, based on your raid difficulty level and the type of Scout you are facing, the Trooper will look back and be oblivious to the obstacle in his path that he will eventually crash into, defeating them. Okay. I'm curious to see how this works, because it sounds really cool, and I like that it's not just, here's boss, fight boss. It's actually like an event, a weird event, which I'm all about weird stuff. I'm cool with that. Don't think we forgot about how your mods and unique abilities will work either. Increasing Luke's potency will increase the amount of distract stats applied with each use. Different stats will affect different abilities, and we'll have a full list available to everyone before the raid is released. As we know, there will be some deep theory crafting and optimization made for the 3-person squads you will be bringing into the raid. I also kind of like that they're making 3v3 part of something else, so that this game isn't all 5v5 with just 3v3 GAC. Now it's mostly 5v5, you got 3v3 GAC, and now we'll have this raid where they're 3-man squads. Even though it doesn't really translate to regular squad gameplay, it's still a 3-man thing. It's nice to have something else to support the 3v3 ecosystem, I guess. Currently planned allowable characters include Admiral Akbar, C-3PO, Chewie, Han Solo, Harrison Dula. Hera was there? Lando, Wedge, JKL, Chief Chirpa, Ewok Elder, Ewok Scout, Logray, Paplu, Tebow, Wicket, and then Admiral Piet, Stormtrooper, Versio, Gideon, Range, Magma, Death, Shore, Veers, and Stark. I'm really happy that Imperial Troopers are part of this. And I hope that if you play with an Imperial Trooper team, you get to be the Scout Troopers messing with Luke and Leia. That'd be a lot more fun, although I could see how that could have some problems here. So when can we expect the raid? The fall, by the end of the year, etc., etc. Outside of these 3 major announcements, we have a few additional items. Princess Kanisa, which we looked at just a second ago, was the marquee that we'll probably be getting in the next couple of weeks. And then let's see. Next up, we were thrilled to introduce a new original character into Star Wars Galaxy. Drogon, a rebel captain who fought with the rebellion on Endor and is a key part of the GL Leia squad. Since birth, Drogon has not just had a limb difference, but also a sense of justice and passion. So they made up a new character to put on the Leia squad. Presumably, so we're not breaking up the CLS squad, because I feel like we might end up busting up the CLS squad if she doesn't have some very particular characters for it. And then also we got today was the kit reveal for Terran Malicos. Now, I'm not super familiar with the Seer Junda squad. I don't have a decent enough Seer Junda. I'm at a Zeta deficit, so putting together even a low gear Seer Junda squad, not worth my time at the moment. But we're getting Terran Malicos, dark side attacker, unaligned force user. He's key attributes: devastating attacker. I don't really care about this. Strategy tips. All of this is kind of pointless. Let's go to his abilities here. Final text. This is his basic. Deal physical damage to target enemy and gain 2 stacks of Edge of Madness, max 100 until the end of the counter, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. This attack can't be countered. That's nice. Edge of Madness, minus 2% defense per stack. So he is removing his own defense every time. So after max 100 stacks. Now I wonder if this is logarithmic, like the like armor shred or if this is linear. Is that the word I'm looking for? What? And it's just -2%, then -4%, then -6%. He's going to be a glass cannon, obviously. Vile Thrash, cooldown 3. Zeta, there's no Zeta on this one, right? Nope. Final text, deal physical damage to target enemy and gain riposte for 2 turns. This attack has 30% defense pen, quadrupled if all allies are dark side or light side unaligned force users. So obviously you're going to want him on a Seer Junda team. Quadrupling his defense pen, that's 120% defense penetration. That is massive. If Malicos has at least 20 stacks of Edge of Madness, he takes a bonus turn for every 20 stacks he has. Dispel them and gain a stack of Madness manifested until the next time he uses Die Whelp, which is his special 2 here. Which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. And if the ally in the leader slot is dark side or light side unaligned force user, the cooldown of Die Whelp is reset. So if he has 20 stacks of Edge of Madness, he gets his Madness manifested and his cooldown for his second special is reset. Madness manifested gives him -40% tenacity per stack. This next time this character uses Die Whelp, it deals 50% more physical damage per stack, reduces the current max health of the target enemy by 15% for the rest of the battle. That's really nice. Stacking, excluding raid bosses and GLs, which can't be resisted, and removes all stacks of Madness manifested. Okay. Die Whelp. That's a pretty cool animation here. Final text, deal physical damage and inflict vulnerable to all enemies and start... Oh, that's nice. So guaranteed crits and a stun for 1 turn. If the target had defense down, the stun can't be resisted. That's nice. The target enemy is in the leader slot, increase their cooldowns by 1, which can't be resisted. That's very nice as well. So you could use that against, like, I don't know, SLKR or something to get... there's going to be a lot of uses for that. Deal additional true damage in Grand Arena. This is the Omicron here. And inflict buff immunity and healing immunity on target enemy for 2 turns, which can't be resisted. If the ally in the leader slot is dark side or light side online force user, Malicos gains 20% crit damage and offense until the end of the encounter. So every time he uses this one, he gets 20% crit damage and offense stacking. That is insane. Unique 1, Echo of the Fallen Order, Zeta Omicron. All allies have 30% critical chance. That's whatever. Critical chance is such a nothing stat anymore. If all allies were unaligned force users at the start of the battle, while Malicos has at least 1 stack of Edge of Madness, whenever he scores a critical hit, all other allies gain 5% crit damage and offense stacking into... Oh my goodness. So he's just total glass cannon. He's just going to be stacking offense and crit damage on himself and everybody else as the battle progresses. While in Grand Arenas, enemies defeated by allies can't be revived. This effect persists if Malicos is defeated. Okay, so he perma-kills everybody. Or his whole team does. The first time another dark side or light side unaligned force user ally would be reduced to 1% health. If Malicos is active, they recover 100% health and protection. Gain damage immunity for 1 turn. Take a bonus turn and gain critical chance up, critical damage, and offense up for 2 turns. While Malicos is active, whenever an enemy with less than 100% turn meter gains bonus turn meter, Malicos gains a stack of Edge of Madness, and that enemy takes true damage, which can't be evaded. This damage can't defeat enemies. So he's got like a mini Treya thing if they're gaining turn meter, and if they're gaining turn meter, so something like troopers, you're just gonna keep repeatedly doing the Die Whelp special and really stacking defense or stacking offense, and you're gonna wipe people out pretty quickly. Unique 2, Strength is Power, Zeta Omicron. There's 3 Omicrons. Did it say here that this was a Conquest character? I did not see anywhere here. Yeah, it doesn't actually say, but it's 3 Omicrons. It's got to be a Conquest character. Oh my god, look at this text wall again. Final text, Malicos attacks can't be evaded. Enemies defeated by him can't be revived. He has 75% counter chance and 100% health steal. And at the start of the battle, he gains 25% offense for each other Ufu. If the ally in the leader slot is a dark side or light side Ufu, Malicos ignores taunt. Jesus. While debuffed, he gains 50% health steal. So he's going to have 125% health steal if he's got a debuff on him. Whenever he uses an ability during his turn, if he has accuracy up or defense up, he immediately uses Dark Strike. Whenever he attacks on a turn, he gains 10% critical damage, stacking for 3 turns. Wow. Yeah, total glass cannon here. He gains stacks of Edge of Madness whenever an enemy dispels a debuff. And then in Grand Arena, at the start of the battle, Malicos gains a stack of Edge of Madness until the end of the encounter. And all Ufus gain crit hit immunity for 2 turns, which can't be dispelled. He has plus 100% max health and plus 50% mastery. Jesus Christ. Whenever he uses an ability during his turn, he immediately uses Dark Strike. Whenever he attacks on a turn, he gains protection up, 20% stacking for 1 turn. Okay, that was a lot. That was a lot. But I don't see anywhere here where it says where we're going to get him. I'm assuming this is the new Conquest character. It's got to be. He's going to be an absolute glass cannon, but he's got a lot of sustain. He's able to heal himself a bunch, so maybe not as glass cannon-y as he appears, but we're gonna have to find out when he comes out. If this is a Conquest character, we got 3 months to figure that out. Anyway, thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, be sure to like, subscribe, comment in the comments section down below, and you can join me on Twitch or Discord. Both have links in the description. I hope to see you guys there.